That lovely.
Okay, Joe.
7 o'clock, call the meeting order. Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Any additions or corrections to the minutes of November 20th? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Get a motion to accept the financial report and payment of the bills.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
No budget amendment.
No budget amendments? Okay. All right, then, Lewis?
The first thing I have is the board had, of course, obviously met with Severn Fence some time ago about installing an influence screening equipment in the Big Elk pump station. And since that time, and through meetings and negotiations with Cecil County, they've agreed to pay $110 towards that project.
$110,000.
I'm sorry, $110,000 towards that project. The estimated cost, according to Severn Trent, is about $305,000 to install a spiral lift, it's called, which is manufactured by Franklin Miller. We don't know if that ultimately will be the equipment used, but that's our starting point. Essentially, I need the board's authorization to begin so I can start rounding up an engineer to do the design and specifications and bid documents so we can put the project out and get a contract price in order to begin the installation of this equipment.
Okay. And there's discussion on that, or?
Did we receive a written letter from the county executive stating that they were doing this, or is this all verbal back and forth? Is that right?
It's a letter.
Flanagan, the director of their public works. If it was in writing, it wouldn't bid. If it wasn't in writing, it wouldn't bid.
And the county, I believe, are in the process of writing up.
Jason,
Jason's working on the thing for us, yeah. Okay.
I guess I just wanted to make a little comment to it that, you know, I kind of feel remiss if I didn't state the fact that, you know, the idea of asking the county for, you know, help or compensation toward, you know, I'm 100% behind that. As a matter of fact, I, you know, initiated that thought. But I really don't want to rush, and I feel like we may rush that amount that they're contributing, because my idea was also to have a partner in this project, and I just don't want to. I want the town to fall short. So I just want to make that comment, and you know, I don't want to, you know, hold back the process. I do want to absolutely continue to move forward, but I would just hope that we would gain a partner in this project, and not just that amount, just in case, you know, we do have some different costs that we may encounter.
I just want to comment what you just said. When you talk about partner, we have someone running our water system, and we talked about not extending the contract based on they wanted to go to the terms no further than 5 years.
Right.
Now, even though we don't have anybody else we have set to replace this company, I didn't see where the downfall was that we could extend it and get that kickback from, it was almost $200,000 they was planning on giving us just to renew a contract for extended time period of another 5 years. Now, we talked about this, but we never negotiated with them about asking about 3 years or what can they do for us for 3 years. We never talked about that. But here we're talking about another $200,000 or $300,000 that could probably pay for the whole project by the extension of another 5 years, which no one else is on the doors knocking to take over that water treatment plant. I think they're doing a good job. I didn't see a downfall for not extending that contract and getting the money while we can. That's the point I'd like to make.
And at that same time, I sent an email on Monday, July 29th, stating if Gene Minner had been in on the conversation, because the county also wants to use our plant. And
Correct.
she knows what is available for us, what we need for future growth. And I think everyone needs to be around that table to discuss this, so we're not cutting ourselves short on a plant that we spent so much money on.
That's right.
They have been giving us good kickback on savings, and it's almost like engineers that we use in the town. We rely on them because we've used them for years and years and years. The same with the water plant. I think we used them years and years. I think we got enough trust in them now that we could really do something in a long-term range and work with the words you said, partnership.
Well, the one thing, it's a two-part thing here. I mean, one's using our capacity for the sewer, and one's for the grinder to get the stuff that's coming out of the detention center done. There's two projects here.
So you're looking at the county plan, the 110, whatever.
110, that's right.
And then if we were to extend the contract, we were looking close to 200,000 from Severn Trent. Am I right or wrong?
That's extending it to 2023, and that's a good long time, because I don't know, we're paying them a lot of money right now.
Okay, let's just look at this. If we're paying now, or we're going to pay them double later. That's the way I look at it. Because either way, when they go to extend their contract, we're not going to get that $200,000-$300,000 buffered into it. They're going to ask to renew it, and we're going to say, well, who do we have that's going to run the? We don't have nobody. That's the way I'm looking at this long term. So, hope it makes sense what I'm saying.
But Jean is our planner, and she knows what we need to keep in that plant for ourselves for future growth.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And she needs to be in this conversation.
That's a different project, though, Mary Jo. That's what I'm telling you.
I understand, but
Two separate
we
projects
can't
here.
take 110,000 from the county because they do want part of this and then have a meeting with Jean, because we're going to take the money, put it towards the screen, which I understand we need the screen, but then we're also saying they can have so much capacity of our plant.
No, this is one separate thing. If we go with 110,000, we'll start that project right away. But the other project would be come up where we have to talk with Jeannie and the county and see if we have the capacity to take the extra water.
And Mayor,
Sure.
I guess the point is that we will basically be making a partner in these projects going forward with the county. And I guess I wanted to make sure we keep that dialogue open and we continue to work with them through both the projects.
And that's what they're trying to do with us right now, to try to show them that they're working with us by giving us the 110,000 to complete this first project.
You know, we talk about project one, we talk about projects two, we've communicated through email. Why is it that we can't sit down?
Thank
Then if
you.
you sit down with each other, if there's an extension or not extension, or $200,000 or $180,000, you know, we can see each other and we can bring things up
Exactly.
that normally we can't do right here now.
I agree.
If that makes sense or is an option. What do you think, sir, Administrator Dillon?
Given the comments here tonight, I would recommend you bring it to a workshop, invite Severn Trent and county to both participate.
Right.
That's what I would like.
And on everybody, as you
Correct.
suggest, and I think that way
Very
the
good.
board would be much more comfortable with any decision.
Decision making, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll schedule it, and I'll put a thing out to Al Wine and to Carl Klein to come, and we'll set up a meeting and we'll discuss it. That way everybody's, has everything in front of them.
Thank you.
Stay good.
And during that work session, I would like to include the conversation where the extension of the agreement.
That's what I'm saying. All that should be, and should, hopefully would be involved.
Okay.
And that agreement goes to, right now it would be,
2023 if we extend it.
so that'd be 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. I'm not saying it's
Okay.
pro or con, but I'm just letting you know, yeah.
5 years from its.
You don't know
yeah,
what's going to happen in 10 years.
it's 5 years from what the date is stated now. It's because of 2018.
2018.
So
We just,
we see and we hear all the time where people extending to 20 years and all that. And now we're getting ourselves in a position where we can set ourselves up where we can benefit from this, not just say, oh, another 5 years. Yeah, some people say there's all kinds of things happening in 5 years. But in 5 years from now, I don't see us replacing them. That's what I'm saying.
But then, well, too, you're committing them to the next board and mayor, whoever comes in, that they're.
We talk about the next board, we may not even be here tomorrow, let alone next board next year or 2 years from now. Well, we gotta worry about the next board. We worry about what we see in the future from this time on and the time we're serving, Joe. That's the thing I'm saying. I'm not worrying about who's coming back or who's gonna be here in 5 years. I'm looking at what's gonna be in the future for us.
And hopefully, normally, if you sit on a board, you hope if you make a decision that affects you ahead, and even though you may not be here, you hope that you're making a good decision for them coming behind. Sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Ditto on everything. I just, again, I really wish and hope that we continue to keep the dialogue open. And we certainly don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we've been working really hard to get out of. Is we want to give ourselves some negotiation room, and we don't want to put ourselves in a stuck situation
Right.
for many, many years.
Right.
Because situations may change, but we certainly should talk about it and discuss how far we can go with it. Makes sense.
Okay. All righty, Louis.
The next item I have is the Public Works Agreement. I need the board's authorization to have, well, I guess the mayor would sign it. The Public Works Agreement with Home Partnership of Cecil County and TCB North Street Senior LLC. These two companies are intimately involved with a number of other companies investors, of course, for the development of the Cecil Community North Street Senior Apartments project across the street, 314 North Street. The Public Works Agreement essentially targets a 20-foot easement, utility easement across the property, and will install, or they'll install, an 8-inch line as it ties into a line off High Street and place 2 fire hydrants. After that work's done and inspected and approved by the town will take that property over and it'll be warranted by Home Partnership and PCB for a 2-year period. They will post bond in the amount of $59,200 to guarantee the work during that 2-year period. I recommend that the board authorize the mayor to sign a public works agreement with Home Partnership of Cecil County Inc. and TCB North Street Senior LLC for the North Street project.
All right, do I have a motion?
So move.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Okay. I don't have any old business. You got any old business, Mary Jo?
No, I don't.
Anything, Lou?
I haven't talked about it for a while, and that's about the recreation center. But I did speak to a couple of the commissioners the other night. Even since August, September, there was a letter that was sent to a person that was looking to try to help fund the recreation center. And I didn't want to say anything until I got an answer. Didn't get an answer yet, so I'm bringing to the table that it's still in the works, that we didn't give up on the recreation center yet. And I don't say yet, didn't give up on the recreation center. There's still hope out there, and we have a contributor that may be willing to fund the whole project, but they didn't give me an answer. They're still deliberating on it. So there's a couple of things that they're trying to finalize, and an answer, yes or no, may be between now and Friday. So I'm just saying, as a whole business, I just want to share that. I wanted to bring that up a couple of times, but a yes or no. So we're looking for either one. Hopefully, yes. That's it.
So,
No.
I've gotta add to Earl, what Earl said. I know Commissioner Piner said, I know for a fact we weren't gonna let it rest. And I'm telling you, just my humble opinion is that we really need to put a sense of urgency in that project. And and I definitely understand getting the huge project done, and I hope we hear about that soon. But if we do not, we have to move forward on something. We definitely have to move forward on something. I think for many years, together as any board that sits up here, we have reached the point where we should be able to upgrade more than what we have upstairs. It's just my humble opinion.
okay. New business, I just had a couple of things. Great evening last night, great presentation with Small Business Person of the Year with Jack Setman. That was very, very nice presentation, very good. I think everybody's aware of the board, but let everybody else know too that we are getting some action on the Delaware Avenue Bridge. Kenny Fender, the resident manager and the engineer, informed us today that they're clearing beneath the bridge. And I was down there this afternoon, and they're having a good time out there, but they're having some hard times, and they getting that stuff out of it. But I watched them, and they did pull out some huge trunks of trees out from beneath the bridge, which has, I think, contributes to the helping the flooding situation. I don't know how much they got out there, but they will be out there at least 2 to 3 days trying to get all that stuff cleared out from under there. And one of the guys told me also that they may be getting a contractor to remove that sandbar. So that's looking good too. We get rid of that. The other thing is I have an appointment for the Planning Commission. We had one, Fred Thomas, had to resign due to his work schedule, and he'd be out of town more frequent than before. So we had Richard, Lewis and I talked to this gentleman. He lives over in the Heights, Richard Keene, and he's very interested in helping us out with the Planning Commission. So I'd like to get an approval to appoint Mr. Keene to our Planning Commission.
I'll make that approval, but I thought before, and I would suggest too, if you are bringing somebody to us, and I know it's not easy. Oh, so you do have this for us?
Sure do.
Oh, well, then this is after the fact. Let me read it now or read it later.
Well, whatever you like to do, it's up to you.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it, Char, if you don't mind.
Well, he's got, I'll go on the assumption of making the approval for that, or making the motion, but that should be given us beforehand, if you will, Joe, next time.
Mayor, excuse me, but is there any way you could just kind of give a very quick
He does have some background working in his previous job of planning and engineering like that. So he does seem to be really qualified to do that.
I made the motion.
I second
All right, a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. That's all I had. Mary Jo?
I have no new business.
it. No new business.
Thank you, Dolly.
Real simple, Mary Jo, what is the status of the restaurant downtown?
We are looking at a soft opening mid-December. I just sent her a message to see if she has the exact date that I can relay this evening. I haven't heard back yet. They were meeting yesterday to discuss the exact date. Everything is moving. I was in there yesterday, and it's unbelievable.
Do you know if they have received any historical grants or anything of that sort?
Maryland Historic Trust is coming here probably within the next week or two. The state I had here it was a week ago Friday. So they're going to be Maryland Historic Trust grants. They're going to be looking at community block money for when they do the 3rd and 4th floor.
Okay.
So we're working on everything possible because they're doing an unbelievable job in there
Thank
to
you.
help.
Lost the golf course. What's the status? I know you sent us a letter.
They sent a letter directly to the board that they weren't selected to own it or operate it.
So, you know, I thought when they came in here, they had to cross all those T's and dotted I's, but evidently they
Right,
didn't.
they did. Yep.
Well, everybody else under that same assumption that they were.
You know, they gave such a positive outlook on it, and I didn't want to sit there and, you know, critique them for their qualifications and on what status they were. But I was under the impression that they had already reached that point.
I think we all were, I think.
Did you know what happened?
I am not at liberty to say because I don't have facts.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
There was another party
Yeah.
looking at the same time.
I was
Okay.
going to say there's nothing against them.
Right.
Yeah.
I would hope that in the future, when we have that type of presentation, that we kind of pre-qualified to be going forward.
They were just introducing themselves and letting us know that they had a proposal in for 30 days. But there is another buyer that may have outbidded them or is in a 90-day grace period right now.
Okay, so
It is
the
somebody
process is still
But I don't have
moving
no
forward.
facts of who it is.
The process is still moving. Okay.
That's why they didn't get it.
Okay.
That was so.
Oh, again, it's not
Yeah, I know.
nothing personal. The wish is for
But
that.
someone else
product.
is still looking at it.
Right. Good.
Might be
good,
the
good.
original guy that was actually started. He
Right.
said he was still interested in
Yeah.
coming back
Yeah.
if he could still get it.
Speculate it's some other buyers looking. So just leave it at that.
Just for the sake of that great, that good community, I just wish someone would take it over as quickly as possible to get it going.
And lastly, a closed meeting, discuss personnel, take you less than 5 minutes. That's it for me.
Okay.
That's it for me. I'm good. Thank
You don't have anything?
you. No.
So do I have a motion to have a closed meeting?
So
Have a second?
Second?
Okay. Motion carried. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
So,
Do we have anything?
Give the motion, I should second it. He's the one having the close.
Yeah, I gave the motion.
Michelle,
Give us the motion, I second it.
We will not be.
Do we have-
re-
I don't have a list.
We will not.
Oh, did anyone say that?
Hi, Michelle.
Hold on.
We will not reconvene.
Rebuild, I don't know if it's... All right, we will not be reconvening.
How you doing?